Don't know me, I'm Richard and I have the dubious honour of being best man today.
Hey.
I have been pretty nervous about the speech, but they say it's really good to visualise the audience naked, so I've never been heard this before, so Richard, that's how it's not bad. But before my character assassination of Carl Wooben Ginger can commence, I would firstly like to direct your attention towards the bridesmaids. Jess?
Stand up.
Well done. A round of applause, please.
Yeah.
Well, Mara, what can I say? You look beautiful today. I'm sure all the men here will agree when I say that Carl is a very, very lucky man. You look 1 in a million. Well, you look like 1 in a raffle. Bagsy, the second dance, Mara, or if Ginger's moves are as good as normal, give me a nod. A round of applause, please, for the beautiful girl. Now, firstly, who do we have to thank for giving us this man here? Well, I thank Avril for being there and Pete for coming. Is that the mark? But just how think how much easier all our lives would have been if you'd had a headache that night.
I agree with you, Richard.
I'll second that.
Now, for those of you who don't know Carl too well, firstly you should be aware of his nicknames. Ginge, Gino, Flatface, Meathead, and these are just the ones we use to his face. I asked a few people what they thought of Ginge, and I think my 2 kids summed him up best. One looked at me and said, beer, and the other one looked at me and said, bald. He gets scrubbed up quite well today, and he's been going to the gym, I don't know if you can tell, but as they say, mate, you can't polish a turd. Now, I've never known anyone question Carl's intelligence. In fact, I've never had anyone even mention it. He misunderstands sayings. He comes out with things like dry as a fish, deaf as a bat. He thought the Rocky Horror Picture Show was a horror film, watched the whole thing from behind a cushion. And as you found out today, he also has trouble with his R's, which tend to become W's. But unfortunately, not with the comedic effect of Jonathan Ross. On our way out one night with our friend Ian Rowe, he came out with, be careful, the woe's a wet woey. I do think we all should feel a little bit sorry for Mara, or Marwa, as she's called. And if they have kids, let's hope it's not a whoop or whoopie. Now, I've known Ginge for nearly 30 years, and it has been a burden. I could have been out on good behaviour by now if I'd killed him twice. But anyway, we all have to have our cross to bear. Unfortunately, mine's just a big coal-shaped one. But seriously, we've been through lots together, from the years playing football to all the times we've been to watch our beloved Ipswich play, even the time when Liverpool thumped us 6-0. So we matched their goals with pints, and it made the loss a little easier to take. During our teenage years, we developed a love for alcohol. A love that is still very much with us today. We used to have quite a few parties at my house. My mum had gone on holiday, and we saw this as a great opportunity to have a sleepover. I remember very little about the night, but sometime in the early hours, I was wakened by the sound of water. It sounded like someone had turned a shower on. Through bleary eyes, I spied a shadow in the corner of the room. I got up and realised it was Ginge, still asleep, dousing the armchair in the corner of the room. As anyone would, I started punching him, saying, "What the are you doing?" When he finally stirred, he turned to me, his eyes still half shut, and said, "I thought it was a toilet." He then proceeded to get straight back into his sleeping bag, on the floor, and go back to sleep. Now, revenge is a great thing. Because when we recollected what had happened in the morning, it became apparent that his clothes were actually on the chair he'd chosen to do it. And there was no way I was lending him any of mine. So imagine my delight as I saw him drive off down the road on his motorbike in his urine-soaked clothes. Now, when we were 18, we had a lad's holiday to Mallorca. Great holiday, lots of sun, sea, Annie Ginger's case, sangria. On one night he decided to prove what a fantastic drinker he was. He stated, I can drink 2 jugs of sangria all to myself. So early that evening he did just that. The 2 jugs were demolished in record time. He then announced he needed to go to his room. Funnily enough, we didn't see it till next morning. Now, in more recent years, his intelligence still hadn't managed to make an appearance. A perfect example of this was when, along with his dad, he entered the Hunky Tradesman competition. Now, Ginge did really well. He made the live show, and you only lost out to a guy who had a really good sob story. But it was his audition tape with his dad that remains one of the funniest or the most wrong things I've ever seen in my life. So, you just got to go over here and try and everyone ready?
What the?
See, what is it?
I have to thank Barbs for hanging on to that for all these years.
Yeah, thank you.
Why did you marry Mark?
Now, unfortunately, you haven't got any wiser. Only at your last birthday, he decided to go out for a run around Whitlingham Broad near his house. He noticed while he was running round that a lot of people were clapping. Thinking that people knew it was his birthday, he felt his confidence grow as more and more people clapped him on his route. On his return home, he told Mara all about it, and how everyone was clapping him, that they must have known it was his birthday. At which point, Mara tells him actually there was a triathlon on. He was taking part. Now, as is traditional, I can't say much about the stag do. What goes on tour stays on tour. But understandably, he's expecting the worst. And when we stopped off on the way to Brighton, we removed his bag and replaced it with our own bag, containing all his clothes for the weekend. The cut-off denim shorts are a big hit, and the green suit, £2.89 off eBay. Thanks again, Ian. Also went down a storm, topped off by this lovely wig. And we all just thought it was nice to see Ginger with hair again. Right, where are we? Right. Now, you're gonna have to bear with me, but I'm gonna try and do a little song in a minute, right? So just bear with me. But before that, I just wanted to offer Mara a little advice. Mara, all you have to remember is that men are like a tiled floor. Lay them right the first time, you can walk all over them for years. And just, a couple of quick apologies. Firstly for the singing, secondly for the guitar playing.
First public performance. Yeah.
I'm a bit shaky, so we'll see how we get on. Sorry. He's a little bit funny, this best friend of mine, with his flat face and his receding hairline. He's not academic, he's only got one GCSE, but he finds putting pipes together quite easy. He grew up in Corton, the village time forgot. There wasn't much to do, so he got drunk a lot. Like the time when he drunk too much special brew. His dad had to hose him down, and his cousin too. You can tell everybody this is your song. You may be quite simple, but I won't say you're dumb. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind me taking the mick. But lots of the things you say really are quite thick. We went down to Brighton and we got you real wrecked. I lost count of how many sambucas you necked. But you didn't go down as a stag, you did deliver. I just feel sorry for your kidneys and liver. You're finally married and this is your special day. I really did think by now that you would have come out as gay. Anyway, you've definitely punched above your weight. Mara, you can still change your mind, it's really not too late. You can tell everybody this is your song. You may be quite simple and some say you're dumb. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind me taking the piss. But ripping it out of you was a chance I couldn't miss. I hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind me taking the pee. I hope your future together is long and so happy.